There, buddy.
How we doing?
It's 6 o'clock,
Which
and there's
credit
3 of us here. Oh, 4. Scott's here. Good. Oh, and there's Steve.
The old BYU
Yeah.
University campus.
Yeah,
Used to be.
yeah. Yeah, it's come a long way since it
You like it?
started. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I really do.
There's yours and yours.
It's got a good culture to it.
Yeah.
But years ago, they had their vault in a cast iron tub in the old home they started in.
Those are the fun.
Years ago when they started, for several years, they were in an old home there in Provo, downtown Provo. And their vault was a cast iron tub, because it was a residential home that they turned into the original branch.
Okay. Well, we've got 5 of us here, and it's, I had Jared as the opening prayer. Would you give her some? Okay, and then Scott, would you do the pledge?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we'd like to welcome you to our Planning Commission meeting this evening. Oh, there's Jared, but you go ahead. Okay. This is Planning Commission meeting for March 29th, 2022. This meeting is being recorded, and welcome to residents that are with us. We're going to begin our meeting this evening with an opening prayer by Commissioner Johnson and then a pledge of allegiance by Commissioner Thompson.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for this opportunity we have to meet. Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for this opportunity we have to meet together as residents of this great city. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to serve and ask you to please bless us today as we discuss matters pertaining to the city, that we can make decisions that are wise and that will be in the best interest of those who are here, who live here within the city. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, would all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
We'll begin with an audible roll call of the commissioners. Sharon Call, here. Mike Marchbanks.
Here.
Jared Showers.
Here.
Rob Callis.
Here.
Stephen Johnson.
Here.
Scott Thompson.
Here.
And Renee Tribe is excused this evening. Okay, and commissioners have received the minutes from our meeting on February 22nd, 2022, and had a chance to review those. Do you have any concerns or questions? The only one that I had was the question of the commercial property site plan being continued. So,
Yeah, I looked at the revised minutes, and I think that then caught all the motions.
okay.
If, I believe I can do this, if I can't, tell me I can't. I would like to just add or clarify on the motion I made, let me find it real quick, on the conditional use permit. Just adding a word, but let me get to.
It might be what Steve's referring to, Mike. He's got a question on the motion he made.
So it's it's 40, page 5, line 48, and the first line on the next page.
Kathy, where are those at on the Y drive? Or the P drive, or?
They're just online. Let me
Oh,
send it to you.
Um,
I sent it to you before
You did, yes, sorry. Let me pull that up.
But, I said all construction traffic will enter the project from State Street. I would just like to add and exit,
Okay, I got it.
enter and exit from State Street, just to make sure it's a two-way flow versus a one-way flow.
That's fine, that's great.
That's just a correction. I know I didn't say it that way, but that's what I intended.
I've got that now, thank you.
Okay,
Then I reviewed the revised minutes, and I think that the motions now make sense, and that we continued the two commercial parts, so. With that minor correction, I don't see anything else.
so do we need to approve the revised minutes, or?
Yes, please.
Okay. Anybody else have concerns or comments? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes with those changes?
So moved.
Okay, and do we need to state that it's the revised minutes?
Make a motion to
You know what,
approve
it's
the
okay,
revised
Sharon,
minutes.
because they were sent to you prior to the meeting,
Yeah.
so. we're
Okay.
Okay, just to say the minutes.
Okay,
With just that one correction that I just,
Yep.
okay, so Mike, you
Yeah.
made a motion to approve. Do I
Yeah.
have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. The minutes have been approved. Now we're going to go on to a time for, this is a time for public comment. This would be for any items that are not already on the agenda for this evening. Anyone here for that purpose? Okay. And then we're going on to item number 4, and I didn't cross-check to see if, on the original minutes, it was item number 6. Was that changed on the revised ones? Because it would be item number 4?
Yeah, so we didn't revise the full staff report, we just revised the minutes, so
Okay,
it still says item 6, but
it's item 4.
it is item 4. Yes,
Right,
you were right,
right.
sorry about that.
That's okay. And this is a site plan approval for the Walmart fuel station at 585 North State Street. And our applicant is Ryan Alvarez. And I understand that
Yeah, so
it's online.
they're all online here. Ryan, could you try to say something, see if we can hear you?
Hi guys, this is Brian Alvarez.
Okay, yeah,
Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me?
yeah, that's
Okay.
perfect, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
So, all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Mary Barnes
thank
will
you.
go ahead.
So this item concerns site plan approval for the Walmart fueling station, which is a 16-pump diesel and unleaded gas station with a small walk-up and checkout building that will be located north of the existing Walmart where this star is, in the Walmart parking lot. So like Sharon said, the property is at 585 North State Street and it's in the general commercial zone. And the Planning Commission is the final land use authority on the site plan approval application. And I want to apologize, the staff report definitely says an 8-pump, but it is 16-pump. Another mistake, but that's okay, pressing forward.
No,
So-
they looked great.
I want to preface this whole presentation by quickly explaining this type of building. So it's a little different than what we usually see. It's, yeah, good idea. All right, so I'm talking about this building right here. I'll zoom in a little more, just in case. All right, so this building, it's an employee-only building. Customers will have no ability to actually enter the building. Customers will have access to these exterior reach-in doors that will have non-alcoholic beverages, drinks, sodas, and I believe this is a restroom right here, so they'll have access to that restroom. But it's not the typical convenience store gas station model, and so because it's like more of a vehicle-oriented, not so pedestrian-oriented, in this staff report, I'll go over a few requested changes to the design for this development. So this new development, it will, let me come to, here, I think this one shows it the best. This is the site plan overlaid onto the actual parking lot. So it will take out about 77 of the existing parking stalls for the Walmart building, which will bring the total amount of parking for the Walmart to 944 parking stalls. This amount of parking still meets the minimum parking requirement. There'll still be plenty of parking for the Walmart customers. And like I said, because this is a walk-up building, no customers will be going inside. They haven't provided for parking specifically for customers. Obviously, employees will be parking in the existing Walmart parking spots. And the gas station will be accessed from 700 North State Street and 785 West down here. And they have adequate vehicle circulation around the gas pumps. Come up here, I'll show you the site plan. And this is going to get changed. This parking data thing is going to get changed. Anyways, there's adequate vehicle circulation around the gas pump area, and UDOT has requested that the applicant update the access permit for State Street, the Walmart access permit for State Street. So that is one of the conditions of approval today. And we've already made the applicant aware of that, and so they'll be contacting UDOT for that updated access permit. With the landscaping, this development is within the larger Walmart development, which was approved in 2003, and I promise this was the best site plan I could find. It's not very good.
Could you go back one frame?
Yeah, like here?
Yeah. So, okay, what's that circle there? Is that?
Oh, this circle, sorry. I added this. This just shows where the sign will be that will have this on it. Yeah, sorry about that. They sent this in.
Existing sign?
Yeah, this is an existing sign, and they want to add a gasoline sign to that. But that will be at a previous sign permit. You guys aren't approving a sign right now.
And does that meet what we passed with the other one?
Gasoline
Okay.
price signs.
And are they only gonna just have the one?
They want to put another one.
I mean, or one price, or are they gonna have multiple, or?
Yeah, so they have that with just the unleaded price there.
Price looks good.
Yeah, right? We wish.
It's approved as long as they promise to keep that price.
But they, I notified the applicant that they will have to do an actual sign permit for this is another sign that they want to put on the property. I haven't looked into the exact sign requirements yet. I was focusing more on the actual site rather than the sign. I was planning on doing that with the sign permit, but I can get back to you on that information after the meeting. All right, so, do you have any other questions?
No,
on
thank you,
what
Mayor.
Said so far?
Does our city have any setback requirements from residential?
Yeah, so
And are we, is this,
90 feet.
So the setback requirement for a commercial building to a residential area is 40 feet.
so we don't have anything specific to gas?
No, that's right. It's actually 20 now. We just changed that the other week. Specific to gas, we don't have anything specific to gas, but this is 90 feet. So that's well within what we're looking for.
And is that residential next to them, or is that?
That's a vacant
Lindon
lot, but
Village?
it is zoned. It's actually zoned R120. Lindon Village is up here, but this is zoned
The
R120.
Lindon Village is only that first 500 or so feet or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So whatever develop, if it ever gets developed, it will be far enough away.
Okay.
So I'll quickly talk about the landscaping with this old site plan. So like I said, this development was within the larger Walmart development approved in 2003. Since that time, some of the landscaping has been taken out, as seen, well, it's hard to see, but for example, I found these 3 islands, landscaping was taken out. So one of the conditions of approval today is for the overall lot and the Walmart development to comply with either the previously approved landscaping or current landscape standards. So that's another one of the conditions of approval.
Can we require them to do current?
To do
Where
current,
it's a new, where there's a new, project being built on their property?
yeah, to do,
Can we require them to do
do current
under our
landscape
current
instead of the
ordinance?
previously approved.
Instead of the previous one?
We weren't sure exactly what has changed from 2003 to now.
Yeah,
So we need to get into that. So that's why we made the condition either previous or current. We'll work with them on that.
But we could, I mean, if there are differences and improvements with our current ordinance,
Yeah.
can we require that since they're putting in a new,
all
a new
right.
building?
Yeah, they've agreed to work with us on that.
Okay.
All right, and I just wanted to let you know, with the building lighting, obviously the canopy will be well lit. You can see it here. There's these lights, and there's also three parking lot lights here, here, and here. So the place will be well lit, won't be dark during the night or anything like that.
So Mary, can I ask with that on, so if we're gonna have residential on the other side, is there any problem with lighting flooding into the possible residential development? I know that's always a big concern, right? That there's,
Yeah.
it looks like the main canopy's on further in, but I just wondering what, if there's any,
Like-
been any consideration or anything for light that will be going into that residential area.
Yeah, of course. So,
I-
oh yeah,
I'm happy to kind of explain. We are happy to provide a photometric plan that will show that there will not be, or that all the lighting will be per the city code. We will also have it designed to have light shields to not have spillage into those residential areas.
Okay, that's, I just wanted to, verify that there's been some consideration of that.
So I would make that a condition if it.
There's some shielding for those residential areas.
Or you provide or have them provide the photometric study.
Yes.
Mike, what do you think the likelihood is, though, that that will stay residential to the west of there?
I think that's a pretty good chance. I don't know though.
Where it's contiguous to commercial, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody come in for a zone change on it.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway,
I just think if we put a condition that that can be addressed, right, that there wouldn't be into a residential area, there wouldn't be any.
So I would do something like a photometric study be provided, and if shielding is needed, according to the study, that it will be added to the lighting or something like that.
Well, I'm just making some notes on that. I just have light shielding required from residential area, and then what exactly on the photometric study?
That's just a study they'll do to show if there's any light trespass or spillover into the neighborhood.
So we would require that then,
You
or?
could require it, or you could just require the shielding, or you could require both. So,
If I could bring up another point, so this is already a existing lighted area per the kind of existing Walmart photometrics plan. And the new lights shown on here are to more update the existing lighting in this area. We're more replacing in kind with the light poles due to the new site layout. So there's already existing lighting there, but we're happy to provide the photometric plans that are designed to your guys' city code, and we'll be meeting your guys' any lighting ordinance you guys already have in place.
so he's just saying that according to the existing parking lot lighting, there's already light in that area, so they're going to be taking out that lighting, putting up their own lighting, but they can do a photometric plan if needed. Is that right, Ryan?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of reiterate that the existing lighting there isn't going to be trespassing or providing trespass or kind of light spillage into the residential area. We're more or less just reconfiguring light poles in that area. So I don't know if a full study is needed to show that, but happy to provide the photometric plan that is designed to your guys' lighting ordinance to show that we meet those codes there.
Is this
The-
gas facility or whatever, is that going to be open 24/7?
Ryan, is it going to be open 24/7?
No.
This is Chris, we're the SGA architect of the project. So the fuel station, the kiosk itself, it will be open, the same store, the same hours as the super center. And then it'll be closed any other time, but we'd still like the opportunity to sell fuel after hours. Basically, somebody can drive up with and pay for fuel with a, but they cannot buy anything from the kiosk after hours.
Okay, so the kiosk will be same as Supercenter, and then the gas, sorry, having technical difficulties.
So I guess from what he said with that, can we just say that staff will analyze the study they've done and make sure that light is a condition? I mean, it sounds like they have a plan, and as long as it meets our code, I'm fine, but we can just make sure that it doesn't have an adverse effect.
But do you want to do,
We're used to evaluating those.
Well, they say they've got a plan as part of their study. I don't know if we need to have them actually go to the cost of doing a study if they've incorporated it into their plan, as long as it meets, the staff can evaluate that.
so do you feel like a condition is necessary still then?
It doesn't hurt, you could just say,
Okay.
you know, the applicant will work with city staff on ensuring that there's
Adequate light,
adequate shielding or, you
yeah,
know, for the lighting or something.
okay.
One thing about it, most of the lighting is much improved since 2003
Yeah, I think,
for light pollution and,
my guess is it'll actually
Yeah.
enhance what's
Yeah.
there, but
yeah.
just wouldn't hurt to have it in the motion, just
Yeah.
to make sure.
Those canopies do get pretty bright, and so I think it's a good idea just to have staff work with that one.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Awesome. Oops. All right,
Mary, could you go again back to a couple frames,
yeah. Do you wanna, yeah,
the site plan?
oh, this site plan? Okay, that's this one.
No, back a little bit further.
Do you want like the aerial with the site plan on it? Okay.
Trying to orient myself a little bit, see.
So here's the Walmart, here's 700 North.
It's gonna be further north,
Yeah.
okay,
Kind of there by the All a Dollar and,
yeah. I personally have been working with Costco on their gas pump locations a number of times. They have a policy where they won't place their pumps within X amount of feet of residential because they fuel those in the evenings a lot of times. And they don't want to have to mitigate noise and that from residential. Further north this is, I guess, that's not as big a concern. But maybe can you address the fueling of the gas tanks? And where will those tanks be buried?
Those tanks are buried right here.
Where?
So,
arrow is?
Okay.
do you see that? I don't see the area. Here, I'll
Far west of their,
I'll go up to this site plan. Here they are.
Okay. So the trucks would be away while they're fueling. The concern is, let's see, how do we think the trucks will get there? Do they come off 7th North or State Street or? That's what I can't tell from this plan.
That's correct. Yes, the trucks will be coming from the north. And to speak to your point earlier, you were kind of comparing the fuel station to a Costco gas site. This is more of your neighborhood fuel station, so probably a little bit similar to what you guys saw up to the north, where it's not going to have a member-only fuel station or anything like that, or large stacking in one direction. It'll be able to be accessed kind of from either direction and kind of more in line with what you would see as a neighborhood fuel station.
And where are the vents and things for the underground tanks? Are they right above?
The vents are right there as number 7, a little bit further south of the tanks in the landscaping area.
Those are good questions.
Okay.
Where will the trucks actually fill? Is it by the vents there, the 3 areas? Or is it in the pavement east of the fuel tanks?
Yeah, so the truck will fill adjacent to the underground tanks, and then
Yeah.
those lids are where they will fill.
Okay. Looks like it's thought out.
So, commissioners, I was just pulling up the zoning. That property next to where the fuel stations will go is actually zoned Lindon Village.
Oh, it is.
It's not zoned residential.
Okay.
So-
Sorry about that.
So maybe we're not as worried.
Yeah, I was confusing it with the Cook property, that's the farm property just south of Walmart.
Yeah.
But the property just east of where this fuel station will go is going as zone commercial.
Just west.
West,
Yeah.
sorry.
So on that, there's 2 pieces, right? There's kind of a bigger piece. Mary, if you go down to the aerial, sorry, we keep having you move.
It is all good.
So if you look, there's the one with the little line in the middle of it. Is that residential?
That's zoned commercial.
And then that,
That is all zoned Linden Village.
Well, I think this is part of the Walmart lot, this one with the line on, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It looks like it's detention area or something.
okay. And then that whole big piece out to 700 is now Linden Village.
I thought it was.
That's what I thought originally,
If
but,
it wasn't, I figured it'd end up being.
yeah. Okay, so then the residential concerns aren't really there.
No.
I think it's always good to still study the lighting. You never know what will go there, but
Yeah.
as long as you make it a condition that staff.
Staff reviews the lighting.
Yep.
Then I don't know about the worry about the trucks at night and stuff are as big of a deal. Feel,
No.
because it's commercial.
Yeah, not if they're not driving by the residential. It shouldn't be.
I've got a question as to the kiosk. Is it similar to the one that you have off State Street in Pleasant Grove that is the Walmart community, the smaller scale Walmart, where you can actually go inside? Or do you not go inside that kiosk at all? It's all served from,
Outside.
it's all served, so it's not quite like the Walmart over in PG.
Yeah.
I can answer that question. This is a new concept. We've been rolling these out across the nation. Not too many, we've got about a dozen of them installed so far, but customers do not enter the store at all. They do have access to the public restroom, as mentioned earlier, but the way it's designed are the exterior reach-in doors are climate controlled. So customers can walk up and select merchandise. Everything is prepackaged, Cokes, Pepsis, all those products, candy bars, chips, things of that nature. They select the product, then they walk up to the front of the kiosk where an associate is stationed inside, and then the transaction is completed through a pass-through drawer. But they
Okay.
do not ever enter the store.
Cause it looked a lot like the one over in PG, but I know that had inside access. I like the looks of this. This looks good. And I'm very happy that you're putting diesel pumps in. Won't have to drive to Costco and Sandy anymore to get.
All right.
Mary, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I was going to go over the design standards
That's great.
just quickly.
Yeah, that's great.
So the design standards, they do ask for a significant amount of transparent glazing and 60% of fenestration at the pedestrian level, which means lots of windows. So the applicant is asking for a modification to that requirement. As we said, it's a walk-up window building. Having windows all around the building would being the employees have no privacy, and I'm sure Lindon residents, Walmart customers don't want to look into the supplies and storage and that kind of thing. There are, like I said, those exterior reach-in doors on both sides of the building. This is just showing, I think this is the south side. Yeah, I think it's the south side of the building. So they're going to be on both sides. So those are glass doors. So they're not windows, but they are glass doors. So kind of opens up the building in that small way. And then the development does need a modification to the canopy and awning requirement over top of the building entries. So the reason why, so there's a building entry here, there's an employee entrance and employee entrance. The reason why we have that requirement is to highlight a main entrance, to provide shade, and also, there's one last one, to prevent like a building from having a flat front. So to provide shade, I mean, that's already literally covered by the large canopy. And then with the flat front of the building, the architect has put in this grab and go, bump out thing. It's like a cornice treatment there, that blue sign, and to prevent that flat front. And then finally, it's not a main entrance for the building. Building doesn't have a main entrance. They're just two locked employee entrances. So trying to highlight a locked employee door, wouldn't really recommend that. And then finally, the last modification needed is the required transom element in the front window. So this window is bulletproof, and as I was talking to the architect, he said that having a transom element in a bulletproof window is particularly difficult. And so instead of the transom element, he again bumped out this checkout window, provided a projecting sill, and these frames for the windows are also slightly bumped out. So other than those three modifications, the canopy, the transom, and what was the other one? The windows. Other than those, the building does follow the commercial design standards. The facade is broken up every 15 to 25 feet. And the building does meet the primary building material requirement with the split face block wainscot, which matches with the existing Walmart building. Also, we asked them to put this wainscot around the canopy columns, and they complied with that, and we think that'll look really nice. A flat roof with the parapet and cornice designs has been requested. As you can see, other various architectural trim details have been provided, and the traditional blue and white of Walmart, which was originally on this canopy here, they've changed it to light gray and blue to match better with our color palette.
Oh, good for them.
Which is real nice. Anyways, so
The existing color over there is a light gray, with that building, so.
Mm-hmm. So city staff, we believe that this development will be great for Lindon, not only helping out Lindon residents, but all the Walmart customers who come from the surrounding cities and towns. And we recommend site plan approval for this Walmart fueling station with the listed conditions and motions, and then also things that you added requiring the current landscape standards, and working with staff to review shielding with the lighting.
Okay, any questions for Mary?
And I think staff has done a great job working with
Right.
Walmart to get a nice product.
I don't see any. I know this is a little hard to apply every design feature to, but I don't see any issues here for what this is.
Nope.
Well, the one thing I like, they have one of these at the Smiths in Springville, by where I live, and I like how they've built in the merchandise on the side, because you know, the one at Smith's in Springville, you got a Coke machine sitting out, a Pepsi machine,
Yeah.
a Monster machine, and, you know, you got all these machines sitting outside, and this looks a lot cleaner.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it sure does. It's all built in.
Yeah.
That's how the Smiths and PG is. It's got all the machines outside.
Yep.
Yep. Looks good.
Yeah.
Okay. So if there aren't any do you have questions for Mary or questions for, and are you here just to gain information on this? Or I just wondered if you had input or concerns?
I don't, it looks good to me, I just wanted to come to make sure they weren't trying to slide in their bigger TLE or do some other.
Are you a neighbor then?
Yeah, so I'm the regional manager for the Jiffy Lubes on the north end of the county, so.
Okay,
It sits, you know, Kurt's right in front of the Walmart.
okay.
And then
But
just make sure that they weren't gonna be, you know, blocking access or anything like that would interfere with our customers getting in, but it all looks good and sounds good.
I was gonna say, as you review this, to you, it looks okay as far as your business.
Yeah, it looks good, it'll work.
Okay. I don't have concerns, other than I do think we need to add the condition of the light shielding, or that the applicant will review lighting with city staff to make sure there's light shielding from the residential area.
From any, I just say, yeah. it's just-
Surrounding properties,
There won't be any residential, really.
from surrounding properties, yeah. Okay. Are we ready for a motion then?
I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay,
I move to approve the applicant's request for site plan approval with the following conditions. Items 1 through 7 as noted in the report, which would also include a review with staff to make sure that we're getting the suitable lighting requirements met. And they'll work with staff on that.
okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the voting is unanimous. Okay, well, Mary, thank you for doing a really nice job on that presentation too.
Thanks. Look at this.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, appreciate it. Have a good
Thank
rest
you.
of your night.
When do you plan on this construction? Or did they leave?
If you're still with us, when do you
Yeah, okay, I
anticipate?
think a few people dropped off. I caught the very end of that. What was your question?
When do you plan on starting construction?
As soon as we can get our plans submitted and approved through the building department. So however long that process takes, that'll probably be, we're probably about a month or month and a half out from being able to submit our plans. Then once they're approved, gotta look and see what availability for GCs are, but hopefully soon. Again, we gotta put it out to bid, but we can definitely keep you guys in the loop on the progress of it and let you know when the construction start date is.
Yeah, we'll coordinate with city staff on exactly what the schedule will be. That way we can let you all know.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you for being with us. Okay, the next item on our agenda is just deciding what you want to do on the planning commission chair and vice chair. So, do we want to nominate people, or people speak up if they're interested, or how do you want to do that?
Well, we have one missing committee member that we could nominate, and
Yeah. But hey, might be short-lived. She gets her county commissioner seat.
Well, do you want to just, I mean, if you're interested, do you want to just let us know? Or if you'd like to nominate someone else?
I think if you're interested, you should give a speech.
We're just making note.
15-minute speech. Otherwise, we go with status quo.
I'm not interested, so don't be coy if you are interested.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Rob could do a great job.
Well, I kind of like being the guy on the outside speaking and complaining.
But you could do a great job.
Well, I'm sure anybody here could do a great job.
That's right, they could.
You didn't miss enough meetings that the co-chair probably ought to stay the same too. He didn't get much experience.
I think I only got one. I think I've only done one, so.
Well, I'll make a motion that we leave things as they are for another year with Steve as the co-chair and.
That's what we did last year.
I know
So
it.
how does she feel about that? Tell us how you feel.
You know, it's,
She has no say, I'm making the motion.
And I second the motion.
I'm happy to do it. I'm okay with doing it. It's not I mean, it's not something that requires a lot of extra work or anything. It's fine. Well, I do have to study through things pretty careful, but I just don't want to keep someone else from having that, from directing the meetings if they would like to. So I don't know.
Well, I think you do a great job. I really do. And I know it doesn't maybe take a lot of extra time, but it is extra time that I don't know that I can dedicate. You know, when you come down and talk to Mike before meetings and things like that, that's awesome that you do that, because I don't think I would have time to do that.
Well, and I also would want to make sure that city council, I mean, the position's set up to be rotated. I mean, it doesn't need to be one person doing it forever.
Well, if it was set up to be rotated, it would rotate, but it's not. It's set up that we make a motion and we select.
It'd be a
Well-
good resume ticker for you though, Mike.
What's that?
It'd be a good resume ticker for you, so put on
Yeah, I don't
a
need
college
it.
application
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, in the twilight years.
I've made a motion.
You've made a motion.
And I seconded it.
I guess we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That was unanimous.
Well, that was quick. That was good.
Well,
No reason to beat the dead horse on that.
But I'm almost embarrassed to be keeping, I mean, to
You
be
should be.
doing it again. And you probably tell the
Nothing to
city
be embarrassed
council and
about.
they're going, oh my gosh.
Because you don't miss any meetings, Sharon, so we just.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Well, the next meeting, just telling you, Steve, we are going to be
Joint.
flying in from Hawaii, and we're supposed to get in that afternoon after flying all night and then having a layover in Phoenix. So I'm
Steve, you're up.
maybe here, I may not.
Steve, you're up.
So, I mean,
Okay.
I'll be here if I can, but I may be late, so
No.
you may,
I'm,
I can text you and let you know what the timeline is.
as long as everybody's fine with me being there, if it's the adjacent property,
The what?
the commercial part of the adjacent property, I'm fine with doing it if I don't.
Doesn't make
I think
any-
we're far enough along with that hopefully no one will be upset that
So you would step in next week then?
in 2 weeks, right?
That'd be on the
2
12th,
weeks,
I think.
yeah, it's
The
2
12th.
weeks, it's on the 12th.
Well,
And if all goes just as planned, I'll probably be here a little sleepy-eyed, but I'll probably be
Okay,
here.
we'll let Steve continue
Yeah,
once he starts.
yeah.
I'm not gonna be gone. It's a time I will be here, so.
Okay.
Did we put something on the calendar with that the joint meeting?
Yes. On
The end of
April
April.
28th,
April 28th.
What time?
yes. We'll probably do that at 6. I think I put in my email, it's at 6.
That's a Thursday?
That's a Thursday. It has been a hard challenge to find a night for a joint meeting, so we'll do some sandwiches and stuff that night, so So Sharon, can I just take a few minutes then?
Sure. Yeah.
So, we've got two big projects we're gonna start working on. We've just signed contracts for. Landmark Design is going to help us update our general plan. They have done a lot of general plans recently, for different communities. About 4 years ago, UDOT and MAG and Wasatch Front Regional Council, they've come out with these planning grants. And so they've been helping a ton of cities update their general plans, and so they're gonna help us do that as well. And so they've got a lot of experience. So we'll have 3 joint meetings with them, with the city council, the planning commission, and our general plan committee. So we'll have those in April, August, and December. And then the general plan committee will meet those months when we don't meet as a
Will
combined.
the first one be the one we've got scheduled?
Yes,
Right.
yep.
How
So
long
that,
ago did we do our general plan review again?
2011.
And it seems like prior to that, we did some kind of a citywide
Survey.
survey, didn't we?
We did one about 2018, we did a citywide survey. They do those every 4 or 5 years.
Seems like we did one prior to the map.
They've done quite a few of those surveys.
It was kind of helpful to hear what the city residents felt, you know?
Yeah, so we'll probably, I'm gonna ask probably a couple of you to be on that committee, but we're mostly trying to get residents from different sections of the city. So I've reached out to city council members, for recommendations. We'll also reach out to the senior center and see if anybody wants to participate. So just so we have a good mix from the community. So we're hoping to have 10 to 12 committee members. I'll ask a couple planning commission members, a couple city council members as well. So that'll be our big project. Our other big one, we signed a contract with, it's an architectural firm called CRSA, Cooper Robertson Simonson, something else. They are going to update our commercial design standards. And so I'll probably reach out to a couple of you guys as well to sit on a committee to update those commercial design standards. So
What about landscaping? I keep hearing about landscaping. Are we gonna try to update that?
we
or is
will,
that tied into-
we have to. The legislature is
Mandated it.
requiring that. The state law goes into effect May 1st. There's no way I can write a new landscape ordinance by May 1st, but I will start working on that.
We ought to start, like you say, at least looking so that we're not making people do something we're gonna end up having to subsidize and pay to redo.
Yeah, we've tried to, like our ordinance says 70% turf right now. Well, the way we've been interpreting that with the planning commission, we've kind of just been saying 70% plant material instead. Vegetation, so, some of your ornamental grasses, your Russian sage, that stuff covers a lot of area for one plant, or grass, and so we've kind of already been interpreting our ordinance a little bit in that direction, so. Is there anybody right now that feels strongly they'd like to be on either the general plan or the commercial design standard committee?
I'd like to do the general plan,
Okay,
if that's okay.
yeah.
I'd probably be more interested in that than the design standards.
Okay.
So,
Rob, you would be good on those design standards,
I think
you're a
Renee
Mike.
really likes that too.
you've had comments.
All I want is white on the color palette, if that's my chance to get it on there.
Oh, Steve,
I want white on the color palette, so if that's my chance to get it on the color palette.
There you go.
You have to approve, you have to make a recommendation to the council, so.
I know.
You'll still have lots of chances to,
So,
you'll be the primary, so we'll have this small committee, but the architect is,
I think you would do
he's,
architecture
he's scheduled to have 2 meetings just with the planning commission, so you'll be one of the primary contacts as well. So even if you're not on the committee, you're gonna get lots of contact with the architect.
I'm happy to serve, I'm not anxious to serve, but I'm happy to serve.
Okay,
I mean, I don't feel like
on the design?
Yeah, I'm not raising my hand.
Anybody else?
Choose
I'll
me.
do it too.
If Rob and I are on design.
Frankly,
I hate one. No, I like
what I was gonna say, and then Rob says that, is frankly, if they have a professional, which it sounds like we've hired a professional,
We have.
white will be on the color palette.
Yeah.
You know, in talking with the architect, he's like, you know, there's a lot of things that he'll address too is, you know, right now we don't say where landscaping goes next to the building. And he's like, you know, that plays a big effect in having some landscaping next to the
Yeah.
building. And,
Yeah.
so I'm excited. They're actually the ones that wrote these as guidelines 20 years ago. And then we adopted them as standards. And, yeah, and so they're excited to work with us again on this project, so.
Good.
So, okay, so the other item I just wanted to go over, last week, the city council heard a concept plan on 700 North for the north side of 700 North.
Tell us again where this is on YouTube.
Yeah.
I
I'll show you the video right
I
now.
watched the meeting on YouTube,
Yeah,
but you said it's
I'll
probably better at another site on YouTube.
I'll show it right now.
I'd love to have that video available to us.
If
so
you
I can
look up
show-
Oh,
legacy
you were
drafting.
there. I saw you there, Scott.
Yeah.
So
On
y-
YouTube.
if you look up legacy drafting on YouTube, you'll find it. The drafters put 2 or 3 different versions on there. So there's a 9-minute version that I'm glad they didn't propose that, but you know, at least it shows the front. The front hasn't changed, and I'll go over that. It's before they had some 3-story garden style homes. That's in the 9-minute presentation. Now they're showing some townhomes in the back. But I'll go through that real quick. So they've got the 20 acres on the east side of 700 North, so this area under contract. So this 6 or 7 acres, and then this 14 acres. We also have a gym, a training facility that has this 5 acres under contract here. They're proposing a indoor training facility, and then eventually a 3 or 4 story office building as well. So this shows their, you know, kind of their site plan. It's only a portion of it. The next slide shows the full thing. So these are kind of a brownstone, like a Chicago brownstone townhome in the back. They're proposing a lane with that will help separate that. These would be a rear-loaded unit because you've got this, you know, you've got a garbage transfer station here, and you've got other industrial here. So they're trying to pull that a ways away from the resident, or from that industrial. This would be mixed-use development. So they're looking at ground level commercial and 2-story commercial on the corners with residential above it. Their plan is to make it look like you don't know there's residential above the commercial. So you'll see that in their design. So this is their overall site plan. I still want to work with them on those townhomes. This is 1,800 feet long. And, you know, I'm just thinking 1,800 feet of almost straight townhomes. And so I want to work with them still a little bit on that design. Just make sure it has a good neighborhood feel. So these would be commercial buildings here with residential on top. They're proposing this big promenade here in between the 2 buildings. These again would be commercial along the bottom with residential on top. So they're proposing 73 townhomes in the back. They're proposing, where is it? 170 apartments on top. Council gave them some feedback on this. The council, you know, really the focus of the council is the commercial, and so that's the carrot. You know, is we'll allow you some residential, but we want the commercial on
Right.
this. The developers, the property owners, this would be the only place the property owners would sell for residential. They're pretty committed to not letting any other property, you know, it's a total of 37 acres, so they're pretty committed in not letting residential happen on the other. So majority of the 37 acres would still be commercial with the residential in this section.
Is there residential rental or owned?
They would all be for sale.
For sale.
Yep. So here's the kind of the brownstone look they're recommending for the townhomes. And then this is the kind of the feel for the commercial, more of a boutique type retail or commercial, and then the focusing, restaurants or something a little more impactful on the corners of the buildings. So one of the things they want to do, sorry, let me go back to this one first. They've got two parks. They've got a park here, and they've got a park here. They really want this park to be also seen from 700 North, so you could kind of see through the building. So they're looking at, something like, this big archway, so you can see through, saying, oh, there's something really cool happening in that park as I drive by. Actually, let me change. So that's a little bigger. And I'll go back to that YouTube video real quick. So this is what would be facing 700 North here.
this is the north side of 700 North, so are there any proposals at all or any interest in the south side?
We have not talked to anybody.
I think once this, if this moves, and that's gonna be the catalyst. Can you pull up the list of, businesses that they have proposed to go in there?
Well, is this a
I
wish
doubt they
list
got
or-
any.
Well, that's,
This is who they said they've reached out to so far that has shown,
interest.
I can't see,
That's who they've reached out to.
yeah, that's who they've reached out to.
Never believe that.
yeah, there you go.
So
You can reach out to everybody.
you can reach out.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, Payways is closed now.
So,
Boy, did you read how many restaurant chains are closing? Someday
How
you
much
wouldn't
property is
think it.
left to the west of it? Is there like a 4-acre lot or something left, or does
So-
that?
I'm not gonna get a Trader Joe's.
so the training facility wants to go here. They want I think there's 6 acres, 5 or 6 acres right here. Then Mike Miller, he's the developer, he's got 20 here, so that's 26. So the other 11, that'd be 11 acres here in the middle. Let me go to our 700 North Master Plan real quick.
So what we just saw is on how many acres?
26.
There's,
In the middle?
there's 11, there's,
Towards the top, so right next to where
That main road you see going through there, that are showing at the water fountain, that was the Anderson Boulevard.
Which is on the south, I'm talking about the south side.
Is that gonna be a light at Anderson Boulevard?
it didn't warrant a light yet, but that's where the light.
That's where they,
That's probably
eventually
where
where one will go.
Yeah.
They actually proposed a pedestrian bridge there to get across as well.
That's kind of
A
interesting.
pedestrian bridge with that welcome to Lindon City type of thing.
Yeah. So this is, if you remember, this is our 700 North kind of land use plan. So they're looking at this property right here in our core district, because that's where the light would be, that's where BRT would be, the BRT station. And then, you know, this is where the gym would go with an office building. This, I met with the real estate agent today. This property's under contract for another office building. So it's really just this one if everything goes through. So,
Because the gentleman, I guess the guy I took as the money guy, because he's wearing his Gulfstream hat with his tail numbers on it. I was talking to him afterwards, and he's gone, man, I'd love to buy 4 acres there, and I want to put a heliport. He says there's 54 helicopters in this county, and nowhere you can land to go have lunch. He says, he just wants to charge people to land for 2 hours to go to lunch, you know, and that did take, so it wouldn't be an airport, it would just be a place you could land and go to lunch and enjoy this complex.
Anything like that.
So, I said, okay, that's an idea.
so a couple things we have to think about. The current zoning doesn't allow residential. So we're meeting with the developer again tomorrow. We're talking about what's the next steps. Is it a development agreement? Is it, when do we change the zoning? Those types of things, so.
Well, he has it under contract, but has he actually closed on the property though?
No.
And so is that closing, is that dependent on
It's depending
how
on
the city works together with him?
he and the city getting far enough that he feels
Yeah.
comfortable to close, or
Yeah,
the property owner moves on, so.
Have we relinquished the deep portion of the town center lot to Ivory Homes yet?
We have.
Okay.
so, yeah,
And Ivory reached out to me maybe about 3 weeks ago about moving on this multifamily phase right there. So you would see that in the next few months, maybe.
Okay, yeah, because there was some new law that recently passed that said within a mile of any transit hub, I don't know what the definition of a transit hub, you have to have moderate income or low income.
You have to, well, you have
Or low income.
you have to do a study for it. You have to do an area plan. So we don't have any stops yet, and so we're not required to do an area plan. But eventually, when BRT comes, hopefully this will already be our area plan, but
Okay.
But every station for BRT or light rail, you have to do an area plan for. And the state's helping to try and fund those. I think they put $2 million towards helping municipalities do planning around the stations.
Okay, anything else out of this legislative session that's gonna affect our dreams and goals here?
Not on here. We need to update our goals for our moderate income housing plan. So they've redone a lot of those 23 goals. So we need to look at what goals we need to readopt. And the state is requiring an implementation plan for each one of those goals for affordable housing. So we have to do that before October. So it's gonna be busy with commercial design standards, general plan, updating the moderate income housing
Yeah.
plan.
Wow.
Possibly working on this. We have to update our landscape code. What else is there?
So as far as, the 23 choices they gave last time, and we chose some of those that we were working on, and you have to have an implementation plan. How does that change what you had previously put into place or felt like we were compliant with or working on?
Yeah, for example, we chose to preserve moderate income housing. Well, we own these 3 homes right here on Main Street. And so we rent those at moderate income rates. We probably can't use that goal anymore because we've already implemented it. And so we're gonna have to add a new goal to that.
And didn't they take away ADUs as a goal, or?
I think they left it in there.
Okay.
Originally,
I hope so, because that really helps.
yeah, because you
people.
have to report every year now on how many ADUs you are approving. So,
Okay.
I'm trying to remember our other goals. Like, right now, one of the goals we had was to look at our commercial zones, to see what areas we may allow some housing in our commercial zones, and we've done that. But we're gonna update our planned residential development overlay zone, and so we may not want that as a goal anymore, so we'll have to look at those 23 goals and see what we wanna do again.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That's all
Is
I
that
have.
it?
Yep.
I just have a couple of questions. Well, for one thing, it's not a question, but I did notice I got money for a new technology equipment. You must have seen that I dropped this one and my screen's all cracked. No, but I just wanted to tell you, thank you very much.
Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
get that every 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like
3 or
that.
4, I don't know which. And then also, I'm just aware of several homes in my area where the homeowners have created 2 apartments in their home. Can they do that?
No.
Where they've what?
If they're not they've gotta be,
Oh,
to be able to have an accessory apartment, it's gotta be owner occupied.
Yeah, it's owner occupied.
But they have
And
two
I know
accessory
that, but they,
apartments.
Oh, but they have
like
two.
Two
one, they
accessories.
created 2 accessory apartments in the basement. The
Oh.
other one, it's an accessory apartment in the basement and in the garage.
Oh, if you'll email us those addresses, we'll dig into it.
Okay.
And what's the definition on that as far as if it's them creating a duplex? I mean, if they just have a bunch of people living in the same house, but only one kitchen, they can have so many people and it's still just one household. So what's the definition where it switches to a duplex? Is it a second kitchen? Is it a second entrance?
It would be a separate living unit,
Okay.
so.
they probably did away with the guideline that you couldn't have more than 3
4.
Is it 4
It used to
family
be 4.
members?
It used to be, a family used to be combined, or it used to be
Yeah.
defined as a blood or 4 unrelated individuals.
That's what it was.
And they got rid of, I believe they
I
got
bet
rid of
They got rid
that.
of it, didn't they? Yeah.
So they can have as many in there as,
I don't wanna say yes until
okay. I just,
But yeah,
Research
I
that
just
further.
see that more and
Can
more.
turn
in
into a
this-
commune.
I
Turn your
just
basement
wonder
into a
about that.
commune.
Well, yeah.
Well, I hadn't heard that they got rid of that, but I could be out of loop on that, but just because you get 6 to 7 bedroom homes in Orem, you can fill them up with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 singles, or,
Mhm.
so I'm surprised
I-
that they made a change there.
That's why I don't want to say yes that right away that they did, but I somehow in
they
my
did.
brain, I think they've adjusted that a little bit.
Because it creates quite a parking problem is what it does.
Among other things.
Yeah,
I
but,
think.
right, but I know, well, what I'm thinking of too is there's parking issues.
Yeah, which the state now says you can't mandate
Right.
off-street parking, so.
I'm gonna fill up all my rental units with
Hey,
10
yeah, why
10
cre-
paying
why turn your,
singles.
why turn your home into a duplex when you can turn every bedroom into a cash center?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you've read about the wave that's kind of going on. It's not brand new, but it's, there are companies out there that are buying up new homes, old homes, repossessed homes, whatever kind of homes. And they're basically turning them, just renting them, much like a developer would apartment complexes. And the report that I read said that nationwide, up to 20% of the new homes are being bought by these companies
Wow.
and turning them into rental homes,
Yeah.
so.
Seems like every home lately in my neighborhood that's been going up for sale has been bought up by a investor for a rental.
Yeah.
But are those gonna help our moderate income housing or no? Probably not.
No. And one of the conferences I went to recently or listened to on Zoom, I can't remember, they're talking how a new trend is developers are coming in with a detached, single-family neighborhood and then renting the whole neighborhood. You know, that's
a
just,
trend, it's.
yeah, that's being
What?
really
Detached,
popular.
Single-family.
Yeah.
There's a whole
Oh, but-
neighborhood full of
Oh, but then they-
single-family homes that
but
are
then the developer-
specifically built and developed for rental use.
For rental use,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow.
There's been institutional buyers buying rental properties in markets like Utah County for
Yeah.
a lot of years, but like Mike said, developing them specifically for rentals, that's the last few years, and that's been real popular.
Well, the report that I read was kind of, you know, you have to take these things with a grain of salt when you read them sometimes, but was saying that by, you know, in 10 years, like 40% of the homes will be rental homes. People just can't afford homes.
Yeah.
But rent is so
So
high,
property
it's
management
almost,
seems like the way to get into,
Yeah,
huh?
but you have to rent for a down payment or
Yeah.
get into it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's taken years off my life, Scott.
Property management has?
I don't have anything else unless someone else does.
I want just, well, 2 comments real quick. First, I don't know on the, meeting schedule, with the city council meeting so early, there's been a number of meetings I would like to attend, and I just can't get there that early, so I don't know if there's been any consideration of the public, if that is a deterrent to them coming, meeting so early on a Monday. I don't know if that's been talked about or whatever, I don't know if that's ever been, I don't know if there's any study or anything.
At 5?
At 5 or 5:15, yeah.
But
So-
they try to do all their council reports first so that the public comment is more around 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But
So,
Well,
I know they reevaluated that at one of the first meetings of the year, didn't they, Kathy? And they wanted to,
they've
Yeah.
opted to stay with it, so that's just a comment, even our meetings, I wonder sometime, is it a deterrent to the public, because I think our number 1 goal is to get their input. Now, most of the meetings, they don't come, but, I would hate for that to be a deterrent, so that's just a comment that, as I've thought. The other one, I want to thank Mary for being a great enforcement person.
Oh.
They, so the Norton property's starting to be cleared, and as the concern was, well, and all the tree trucks and all the mud was going up and down 570. But Mary made some phone calls, and now it's padlocked and some signs on there, so the
I
residents
noticed
appreciate that.
today.
Yeah, that was definitely Old Wayne. I
Yeah.
just
Corbridge.
Well, we appreciate that they're doing that, because it was a mess, and and as we review that ordinance, that's one thing, you know, that kept being brought, well, people won't use 570 because it's too easy to use State Street. Well, State Street was much closer to where they were going, but they were all using 570 because of less traffic.
Yeah.
Who said,
But like
who
Mike,
said that State Street would be used more?
All the traffic studies said everybody will go on State Street, no one will go in the neighborhoods. I mean, that's just anecdotal evidence that that's
but,
not true.
but I was asking Mike about that, because I noticed the signs. I just happened to drive down there today and ask him about that, and you were saying that there was a question of whether, you know, taking out those trees and things like that, whether that was really even construction or.
Right,
know, part
right.
of the
And so that's why I
construction.
appreciate Mary making the phone calls, and I appreciate the developer honoring that in spirit, whether it was the letter of the law or not. And so that was just we appreciate the neighbors appreciate that the call was made, and that there was something said about it.
Oh, it sure looks different with all those trees out, doesn't it?
It's starting to look different, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Commissioner Johnson, the other property we've given notice to is that one there. So they've got, I think, till the middle of May to finish getting that cleaned up, so.
Good. Oh, yeah, those dead tractors that are laying there on locusts.
okay.
There's only one tractor there now, but,
Was it?
but it's off a track, it doesn't have a track on
Yeah.
it, and they're trying to figure out how to move it, so.
Yeah.
But-
MCR.
And what about the,
Scrap it.
North is just as bad,
yeah,
if not worse.
You'll be
Is
getting a new
anything
home
being
set
done
on there
that?
soon, so. What's that?
anything being done on the 400 North?
We approved the
200.
building permit, so they'll be putting
Just on the east end of that though, the other
Yeah.
end's still.
One- once we get that in, then we'll work with them on the rest of the property,
It looks really bad.
yeah.
I don't know if I want this on the record. The home that has all the signs all over it, you know which one I'm talking about on 400
With the
North?
flags, yeah.
Not, well, yeah, all over the front of the home, and there, I guess there's a little part of me that wonders if our police are kind of watching that. That just seems maybe typical of someone that is quite angry.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't have any information on that one.
You just wonder,
North and about
huh?
500 east, maybe.
Right on 400 North. I don't know for sure. It's about halfway.
And a sign and.
I had just wondered, you know,
It's not classy, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's probably not a violation.
it's not a violation.
It's just not classy. I mean,
Well,
it's-
not just that, well, I'll talk to you more about it at another time.
I don't have any information on it, so our city attorney looked at it, it was a free speech issue.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
just-
classy at all, but, there's not much we can do.
Not in an HOA.
I'm not as concerned about well, I better,
Probably better talk to the chief then.
yeah,
So.
yeah. Okay, I don't have anything else. Anyone else? Gosh, let's go home. It's 20 after 7.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Seconded, was that you, Scott?